Evening people. Tonight I'm going to make lemon cake. Got some lemons from my tree. One of the best cakes that I know how to make is lemon cake. That's by no means the only cake I know how to make. I know how to make a bunch of cakes. I guess I'll get around to doing them all in due course, but tonight it's going to be lemon cake. Now, for those who don't know, this is the great Australian cooking Bible, Cookery the Australian Way. So if you haven't got it, get it. This was used in schools. It was so good it was used in schools in Australia. So this one is 1974, originally printed in 1966. This one's 1974. I think they've redone it again. I think they've had a couple more editions since 1974. I think they've done a few more, but it really is the Bible. I mean, it's simple. It's got a lot of simple dishes, and really a lot of dishes. They're simple. There's not a lot of complicated flavours, but just solid, well-grounded cooking. You know, the heart, the foundation of cooking. So if you don't know anything about cooking, get that book. I don't know what the modern one's like. That's 1974 edition. Very good. Yeah, I don't know. You have to check out the other editions, but they really are. They really are good. So this is a butter cake recipe built on butter cake. I mean, I probably made a few little minor modifications, but essentially it's the butter cake from Cookery the Australian Way. And you know, you don't have to be Australian to use Cookery the Australian Way. It's just good solid cooking, and it's in metric. So you know, sorry, all you people who work with ounces, sorry, it's all in grams, and Celsius on your stove. But you know, you can always convert. If you're in the UK or in the US, you can always just convert to from Celsius to Fahrenheit and convert from grams to ounces. It's no problem. And we've got cups, and we've all got cups, right? 250 ml. Of course, you don't have mils, do you? I don't know how many ounces that's supposed to be. 10, is it? Maybe 7? Not sure. Now you're going to make a butter cake recipe. Obviously you need butter, and it's not as critical, the temperature of the butter, compared to pastry where it really counts. It's not so critical here, but you do want the pastry to be warm. You've got to cream it, well, not necessarily warm, but you don't want it cold. So that'll just take the chill off it. I mean, it'll be nice and malleable. It's what we want. So 185 grams of butter. Tell what I really like about this. This is the Kenwood bowl, and this is the bowl that comes with the scales, right? And if you look at that, it's absolutely a fucking perfect fit. It's a perfect fit. So if you want to measure anything into the bowl, just put it on top, one bowl on top of the other, and it's fantastic. It's perfect. It's locked down. It's not going anywhere. Perfectly stable, and you're straight into the bowl that you're going to mix with. So it's perfect, you know. Fantastic. I don't know whether you people ever make cakes. I mean, everyone used to make cakes once upon a time. They're nothing to be afraid of. Cakes are pretty easy to make. No, honestly, there's not a lot to go wrong. And the bits that can go wrong, I'll probably talk about them during the course of this vid. So we want 185 grams, and that's that. All right, that's 185. We're done. So butter cake, what you do is you cream the butter and sugar. which is to say you mix them together and it becomes a creamy, buttery, sugary thing, right? And then, because they won't have any lumps, you do that first, they'll have no lumps, and it's just a structural basis for everything that comes afterwards. So, how much sugar do we need? Well, you know the thing about cakes. Cakes are sweet. That's why we love them, they're so sweet. Right, they're sweet. Beautiful cakes. So if you remember from the pastry, when I was making short crust pastry, I was doing 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of flour and 3/4 of a cup of sugar, of caster sugar, right, for the biscuit pastry. And that's the sweet pastry. The short crust, I think it had less. I know it was halfway between half a cup and 3/4 or something. 2/3 of a cup almost. But this is a cake, so it's more. So a whole cup of sugar, no mucking around. Oh, god damn. Spilt it again. Come on, Mars, lift your game. No, should be right. Should be right. No problem. Got over that minor hurdle. Put this away. Scrape it in. Right, so we've got warmish butter, warmish. We've got sugar, caster sugar. Let the creaming commence. Let the drinking continue. Alright, that's done. I'll get the phone. Back in a second. Alright, let's film it. Okay, so that is the creamed butter and sugar. Nice. Now we've got 3 eggs. Now, depending how rich you want your cake, you can put a varying number of eggs. For example, the minimum amount would be 2 eggs, and the maximum amount would be 5 eggs. But we're not going there. 5 eggs? God, what are you making? An omelette? A mousse? Mousse! Don't mind me, I'm just having a bit of a relaxing evening. Yeah. Try not to get too worried about things. I need a I need a bit of a relaxing evening sometimes. Now normally I just use a fork when I'm beating eggs, right? But since I've got a whisk, I'll just use it. Look at that. They are good things, whisks. I know the French love them. The French have an absolute love affair with their whisks. Why not? You know, whatever turns you on, if you get off on whisks, I'm not going to stop you. So what we do now is we, the recipe says fold in the milk, fold in the eggs, so I'll just fold in the eggs. And I was thinking about putting the flour in first. Thinking about it. But maybe I'll just follow the recipe at this point. course, eggs are sloppy and butter is sticky, sticks to the side. So you really, if you want to incorporate it all together, you've got to cut the butter away from the side and away from the beater. Just wipe your knife off on the beater, that way you won't have butter and egg everywhere. So give it a bit more. Much better. Now what I'm going to do is get 2 cups of flour. Supposedly you're supposed to put 1 in, then lemon, and another bugger it. I'm just going to put 2 in. Now that's just 1. I'll put the other one in a minute. You can get pretty anal with the way and make things, you know, sieve all the ingredients and you know, dissolve your baking powder in milk before you put it in. You can get really anal, but you don't have to. You can just do it easy. So I want 4 teaspoons of baking powder, because this is not self-raising flour, this is plain flour. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I'll just give it a bit of a whiz. Like that. Getting pretty dry. Now put the next cup in. Another cup and the last teaspoon of baking powder. So the theory is you want to distribute the baking powder absolutely evenly through the flour. That's the theory. So that you get a nice even rise and everyone's happy, right? But, you know, maybe, but is it really going to make that much difference? Well, get that man a taxi. That one got away from me a bit. Now we need some zest, and I think we can put that away. I need some lemon zest, got some milk there, and some lemon juice. So I'll get a board and cut the lemon on. How much lemon zest am I supposed to use? 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. Oh, really? Tablespoon. But I'm guessing it's probably like 1 or 2 lemons, I guess. It's nothing like zest, you know, you really smell it. You're cutting it, when you take the zest off, you smell this beautiful, fresh, you know, really fresh smell you get from zest. Especially lemon zest is awesome. Oh, lemon zest. I mean, I've got a bit of scale on my lemon tree, so there's a few bits of scale on the zest, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Should be right. She'll be right, mate. It's only bloody scale. Not going to hurt you. Might kill the lemon tree, but it's not going to hurt you. It's just a bit of some little insect. Was it scale? Is it a type of aphid? Maybe. I think. Anyway, that's probably enough zest. I've got a cure for killing the scale, now, which is white oil, which you can make yourself, right? I've got a recipe for making it. It's just oil and detergent. That's all you need. Easy. You can make it yourself, and it works. But then I'd have to be bothered doing it, right? I'd have to be bothered making the oil mix in the first place. Then I'd have to be bothered spraying it, putting it in the sprayer and spraying it, you know. And I should do it. Totally should do it. I absolutely agree, I should do it. I'll get around to it one of these days. I'll get around to it. You know, my father used to always say, get around to it. So one birthday I bought him one. I bought him a round to it. I don't know if you've ever seen one, but they're round and they've got to it written all over them. A round to it. And once you've got one of those, you can just jump up and do stuff. It's totally amazing. You have to see it to believe it. To see it with your own eyes. Now, how much lemon juice do I need? Alright, I want about half a cup of lemon juice. So, see what this big lemon's like. Oh, you big lemon. What are you? What are you, big lemon? All pith and not much juice. What are you? Taking the pith. I just thought that one up just then. Yeah. Don't you ever let a chance go by, oh Lord. Don't you ever let a chance go by. Who remembers that? Don't you ever let a chance go by, oh Lord. Don't you ever let a chance go by. It was the Newcastle song by Bob Hudson. It's about 1976. It was a hit. Believe it or not, it was a hit. And most of it was talking. Now that's not enough. I think we need more. Ugh, what's in that? Going off. Going off. Going off, mate. Am I going to eat it? No. I was nearly going to eat it. It was nearly alright. Oh, that's no good. Not doing well. Next. Next, what have we got here? And no. Homegrown lemon tree, patchy. You know. Ah! Look at that. Looks good. You know, my mom used to say to me, a lemon tree is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Actually, she never said that. It's a complete lie. But, you know. Never hesitate lying if you think it'll make a good story. What have we got? Oh, pretty close. Yeah, that'll do. Half a cup. Half a cup of lemon juice. Easy peasy. Japanesey. Out she comes. Out she comes. Walking down the street. so solid. Solid as a rock. The simplest way to get rid of solids is to add liquid. If you add enough liquid to solid, you get mud. Mud is what you get. Maybe just a pinch of salt. Right. Cup of milk. I mean, how easy is this, guys and girls? How easy is this? Pretty bloody easy, I'd say. Right, milk's here. Blah blah blah, let's film it. Film it coming together. Film the drama as a cake comes together. Exciting. Or not. This case may be. Depends how you look at it. Is it exciting? Make your own mind up. Okay. Now you know. That's basically the cake, people. I just got to grease the tin and chuck it in the oven. Man, how long did that take? Hang on, I'll just check the camera and make sure I'm not running out of time. We've got about 6 minutes, so that'll be enough. So what did it take me? It's taken me like 20 minutes so far. So let's get a bit of butter, grease the pan, grease the sides, but mainly you want to grease the bottom. I mean, if the cake sticks to the sides, that's alright. You just use the knife and you free it up. But if it sticks to the bottom, you can't free it up. You can't stick a knife into the bottom. So, no. The bottom's most important. Make sure the bottom's got a good coating of butter. Good coating of butter, and hopefully, if you do that, it won't stick. If you're really paranoid about this stuff, and I know some women are, you can get grease-proof paper, baking paper, cut it exactly to the shape of the bottom of the tin, and put it down there on top of the butter, and it will stay there, and that way the cake will stick to the paper and it won't stick to the tin. That's what you can do if you can be bothered. You know what I'm like, just plain lazy. Can't be bothered, mate. And quite frankly, it's never normally a problem. Just make sure you use plenty of butter on the base, and you should be right. Famous last words. All right. Right, there's the cake batter. What is the difference between a dough, a batter, and a mixture? Well, I can tell you, a batter is a sloppy mess. So if you've got a sloppy mess, that's a batter. So you get pancake batter and you get cake batter because it's a sloppy mess. compared to pastry, which is a dough. But is it a dough or is it pastry? I suppose it's pastry. So there you go. So pastry is not the same thing as a dough. So dough is when you're making bread. So I guess dough is not short. Dough does not contain fat. Pastry contains fat. There you go. I guess that'll be the difference. So you get a different texture, you know, when you're fondling your dough. You get a different texture from when you're fondling your batter. Blah blah blah. Alright, that's enough of that. Chuck that in there. Oh my god. I might have to redo it. It seems like the butter didn't mix in properly. So I might just, excuse me. Hey, you know what I could use? Can't tell me. You know what I could use? I'll give the French a go here. They love their whisks. Let's see if they're onto something, or whether it's all just Frenchy bullshit. Whisk it around. So the idea of a cake batter, it should be thick, you know. It should be a sloppy mess, certainly, but it shouldn't be too runny. It should be a bit, you know, a thick mess, not a thin mess, not a thin, watery, like crepe, if you're making crepes. Alright, tell you what's good is a spatula. If I can find it. Here's a spatula. Oop, excuse me while I pull it apart. Its name is Fred. Did you see that? It's supposed to be quality work, guys. Where did I buy this from? Was it Aldi? Probably. Man, the junk these days. I reckon I've got another one. A proper Kenwood one, but I don't know where it is. It's probably in the drawer somewhere. It's probably hiding in there somewhere. So I think I'm going to do a song while we wait for this cake to cook. So if you've got a request for what song you want, let me know in the comments, and I'll go backwards in time and I'll change the song I did do just for you. Okay, it's the kind of guy I am. Oh, in that goes. You want to see what a cake looks like in a cake tin? I know it's a thrilling experience. You know, it's not given to all of us to know what this looks like, but essentially, alright people, I'm going to do the block of hash, which is based on an old Irish song, The Jug of Punch, but the idea to change those from punch into words that suit marijuana was by a guy called Bhong Crisby in 1979, but I've written additional verses and changed it. So most of the words are mine now. But anyway, here it is, the block of hash. One pleasant evening in a month of June, as I packed my bong out beneath the moon, a small bird sat on a heap of trash, and the song he sang was the block of hash. Tooraloo, 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 tooraloo. and the song he sang was the block of hash. What more contentment can a man require than to sit him down by a good log fire? A comely wench, be a meat and mash, aye, and on the table a block of hash. Tooraloo, tooraloo-lay, tooraloo, tooraloo-lay. A comely wench, be a meat and mash, aye, and on the table a block of hash. In all the world there's no finer art than a tune or song that can touch the heart. But music that may sound mighty flash will be twice as good with a block of hash. Tooraloo, tooraloo-lay, tooraloo, tooraloo-lay. A music that may sound mighty flash will be twice as good with a block of hash. Spare a thought for all those who toss and turn, elusive slumber their chief concern. But he that can't sleep will cease to thrash when he's stoned right down with a block of hash. Tooraloo, tooraloo-lay, tooraloo, tooraloo-lay. He that can't sleep will cease to thrash when he's stoned right down with a block of hash. There are times in life when we seek inside, but by staid routine is the truth denied. But inward eye will those ramparts smash when your mind is freed with a block of hash. Tooraloo, tooraloo-lay, tooraloo, tooraloo-lay. Your inward eye will those ramparts smash when your mind is freed with a block of hash. Oh, when I'm dead, Lord, and in my grave, no costly tombstone do I crave. Just bury me way down deep below, with a block of hash at my head and toe. Tooraloo, tooraloo-lay, tooraloo, tooraloo-lay. Bury me way down deep below, with a block of hash at my head and toe. Okay, folks, hope you've recovered from that song. Now, cake has had 40 minutes and in a fan forced oven, so it would have been, or was it 50 minutes? Anyway, just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. And so I did sort of overdo it a little bit. And now we're in trouble. Oops, looks like we're in trouble. If I do fuck this up, I'm not going to put this up on YouTube. I won't. No, I won't. Oh no, I can't believe it's stuck. Totally stuck. And god damn it, totally stuck. Oh, it's completely wrecked now. Yeah. It's wrecked. It's a failure. Chalk it up as a failure. Aha! It's now the next morning. And I'm going to see if I can rescue this disaster. Disaster, poor dead cake. Stuck to the bottom. And when I finally got it out, ruined the top. So I didn't do a good job. But the cake smells great, looks great. I don't want to throw it away. So I'm just going to try and see if I can save it. So first I'm going to try and cut it in half. I think the bottom half's okay, or reasonably okay, apart from the bit that's stuck. But the top, it's going to break apart for sure. The question is, can I get it to stay together enough to make this work somehow? Like, I don't know how, but I don't know how. I don't know. I'll probably just have to assemble it, you know, in pieces. But you know, it's going to be iced and it'll taste alright. That's sort of most of it there. Alright. You see it's cracked right through. Hang on, I'll get the camera, I'll get the phone. Come on phone, what are you doing? Christ, what is wrong with this phone? Can't load the widget? What happened? Did the phone reset? Motorola people. Hopeless. That's come good, finally. Dull. Dumb fucking thing. Right. Now we're waiting for the camera to focus. Oh, now it's focusing. It was a good phone when it was new. It's been bloody stupid updates. These stupid updates, or there's some damn service running that's just a pain. Right, I've got that off. I think I can make this work to at least. It'll be fine. It'll taste okay. It's gonna look a bit silly, but that's all right. It's okay. Just give me a minute. I'll get ready to do the stuff. All right. Let's give this a go. I want some cream, so about half a bottle. So I suppose that's that's at least 150 grams. It's probably like 180 grams or 180 mils. probably pretty similar, mils and grams. And check it out, this is a relic from the past. Old rotary hand beater. Actually, you know, that's absolutely the fantastic way to do it. Easy, works really well. Like I could do it in the stand mixer, sure I can, but let's put some sugar in there. Right, see how long it takes to beat. Won't be very long. These things are really common once upon a time, hand beaters, and this one's really good. Like I don't know how old it is. Swift Whip, made in Australia. This is back in the days when Australians used to make stuff. Made in Australia. Don't think it tells you when. Ball drive. I mean, it's made really solid. It's got to be like, it's got to be older than me. It's got to be. It's probably 70 years old. You buy them these days, they're smaller, much weaker, they'll break. This doesn't break. Now it's already getting pretty stiff. So in the case of you're going to ice a cake, the last thing you want is cream running out of it, right? So when you whip the cream, make sure it's really stiff. Stiff as you can get. Stiff as you can get without turning into butter. We don't want to turn into butter. It's pretty stiff now. Oh yeah. Getting quite hard to turn the handle. There it is. Sweet slagroom. As they would call it in the Netherlands. Or just Schlagroom in Germany. Wow, tastes good. You can eat that on its own. Really good. Where's that phone? Where is that phone? Alright. So we'll look at that. And that's not falling out. It's not going anywhere. So, put the cream onto the cake. A knife is good for the purpose. Put your whipped cream on the cake, spread it around evenly. The whipped cream, apart from adding a new dimension to the texture of the cake, it also keeps the cake moist. Because one of the troubles if you don't put cream in a cake, it can dry out. And the fridge environment is very dry, so they tend to dry out. if you put cream in them, the cream will gradually infiltrate the cake, infiltrate the texture of the cake and make it more moist. Seeing as how cream, you know, it's mostly water, but expensive water. Well, I mean, there's butter fat in there. It's good. All right. So just roughly, evenly, and don't go too close to the edge because we are going to. Because when you push the cake back, put the cake back together, it will get off. It will. If you're pushing it down, it will tend to push over onto the edge. Now, what we want to do here is restore this cake in the way it came out, because I didn't cut it exactly evenly. So you want to try to match up the bits. Hubris, you see. I was so keen to tell everyone last night you could just ignore the rules. Couldn't be bothered cutting out grease-proof paper at the bottom of your pan to save your cake from sticking. I was so confident, and look what happened. Pride cometh before a fall. So, definitely had a fall last night. No doubt about that. Anyway, it'll still taste good. At least I think it will. The cake's cooked. It's cooked right through, you can see that. Right. Oh, clean that bench, Mr. Mars. Clean it up. Clean that bench. Let's go. Alright. Sticky, creamy mess. There's only one place you want that sticky, creamy mess, and that is down your gullet. Deep in your gutty wats, as Alex would say from Clockwork Orange, if you know Clockwork Orange. If you don't know Clockwork Orange, well, great book. Bit confrontational, but great book. Let me see. Get rid of this lot too. Just crumbs. Right, just got to ice it and we're done. So, lemon butter icing. I love it. My favourite icing. It can be a little bit tricky. You've got to watch it a bit. So, probably about that much. God, there's so much. Trying to keep the fat content down a bit. I mean, yeah, try and keep it down a bit. You want a fair bit of icing sugar. So what we do is we melt the butter and get some lemon juice. Need about a couple of tablespoons of lemon juice, no more. And you might need a bit less, but about 2 tablespoons. So, these 2 lemons. Two small lemons, it should hopefully be enough. Oh yeah. That'll be enough. any excess I'll probably whack some sugar in it and drink it. Butter's nearly melted. We've got plenty of, more than enough lemon juice. It's all go, go, go. So how much do we need? We need 1.5 cups of icing sugar. Technically speaking, it's not icing sugar, it's icing mixture, which is just sugar with, bit of corn flour added to aid the consistency. Just get this sugar right. So the corn flour makes it a bit easy to work with. If it's just pure, if you get the pure icing sugar, it's only sugar, it gets very hard. Which is good if you want that. I think it's royal icing where they have it really hard. But anyway, traditional butter icing, it is a bit hard, but not too hard. It's different from frosting, you know, which is always soft. Yeah. Frosting's always soft. Butter icing is firm. It's not soft. Once it sets, once it gets cold, it's should be about right. Now, very, very, very important. Don't put too much lemon juice in. If you put too much lemon juice in at the start, you'll be constantly adding more and more and more and more icing mixture to try and get the right consistency, and it'll just get way too much. Now just mix it through. Back on the stove. It's got to be hot. Beauty of it. The sugar melts into the butter and the lemon juice. And because the butter's melted, everything's liquidy and it forms a stiff icing, but flowable. You know, you can flow. But then, as soon as the butter gets cold, it won't flow. It's solid and firm. So, just let it mix in. As it warms up, it'll absorb more of the sugar. And you get to a point like it is at the moment where it's not going to quite do it, because you need a bit more than a tablespoon. But you probably want less than 2 tablespoons. So you be very careful at this point that you don't put too much. You put a little bit more in, but be very, very careful. Just a little bit at a time. And give it a chance to mix through. And as soon as it makes a nice smooth icing, you salt. Just a little bit more. Alright. So that's what I'm talking about. We've reached the point. Nice and smooth. And you get it nice and hot. Smooth and runny. So there's quite a lot of orange juice, lemon juice left that I don't need to use. Would be fatal to put it in. Would ruin it. So let's go. What's this like? See the consistency there. Nice and smooth. Just use your tablespoon to make sure you've got rid of all the lumps. Obviously you don't want lumps of icing mixture in your icing, but if you just keep stirring it, it'll all go. That's another reason why you make it thick. The thicker it is, the easier it is to get rid of the lumps. Does everyone know that? The thicker it is, the easier it is to get rid of the lumps. Alright, that's pretty good. So all I've got to do now is pour it on and work quickly, because once it gets cold, it'll set, and then you won't be able to work it. Now obviously it's not going to be a visual masterpiece unless you like, you know, maybe if you like abstract art, you might find something interesting in the natural shapes of a ruined architecture of what a cake is supposed to be. It's sort of a disaster area from a dystopian age. Come off, you pest. Go somewhere, do something useful, go in there, there you go. Nice. Oh yeah. Lemon butter icing. It's just fantastic. If you've never had it, one of the best things. Incredibly sweet, but lemony. There's a bit of butter in there. Fantastic. So, close up. Sorry while I lick my finger. I'll lick the finger. Hopefully you can see that the cake's beautifully cooked. Texture's great. It's just broken apart. So, we should eat it. The question is, do I eat it straight away or I'll just chill it in the fridge? I might chill it in the fridge just for a few minutes. Maybe, I'll chill it for half an hour. Alright, I gave it half an hour in the fridge. Probably wasn't totally necessary, but that's what I did. Alright, let's cut it. The ruined cake. How bad can it be, eh? How bad can it be? Look at that. Let's have a look at that. So here is the, you can see inside the cake. Pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't be entering this in any competitions, but nice. Don't worry about me, I'm just doing my gardening, as photographers would say. Doing my gardening. Because if you're a photographer and you photograph vegetables, flowers, and who doesn't? You're always going to want to going to need to remove extraneous things, you know, twigs or whatever that are in the way. So let's have a go at this. Wow. Looks like a disaster, but it tastes fantastic. Fantastic. I've been making this for decades. Decades and decades. I make it for birthday cakes because it's so good. Sweet, it's buttery, it's lemony, it's flour, you know. It tastes like a cake, a butter cake. Incredible. The cake is perfectly, beautifully soft, totally cooked, beautifully soft. And the sweet cream in the middle gives it that contrasting texture that's just wonderful, contrasts beautifully, and also adds a nice creaminess, literally. And then on top you've got the tangy, sweet, very, very sweet, tangy icing, the lemon icing. Just fantastic. Everything's sweet. Everything's sweet, but not absurdly sweet, you know. Sweet, but not too sweet. Well, the icing's super sweet, but it's only a very thin layer. The cake itself is sweet, but not too sweet. Fantastic. So, you know, I'm glad I didn't throw the whole thing out. I was tempted last night, after I ruined it, I was tempted just to throw it out and start again, right? Then I thought, God, if I throw it out and start again, I'm going to have to reshoot, and what am I going to do with my block of hash that I put in there? So maybe I'll try and save it. That's what I thought. So that's what I did. I saved it. Resurrected it. I call it the Lazarus cake. Perfect. As far as taste goes, perfect. Texture, perfect. Perfectly cooked. Lovely mild flavour, a mild lemon in the cake. The cake itself is just a nice mild lemon. I mean, maybe I could put a bit more lemon into the cake, but it's not needed. It's great. Great the way it is. And of course, best accompaniment for cake like this is a cup of black tea. A cup of black tea. So fantastic for morning tea or afternoon tea. Tea and a cake. Great stuff. So if you liked my my block of hash song, go check out my music channel. I'll put a link in the description. Okay. Happy days, people. Over and out.